For anyone who may be listening on the YouTube Zoom recording, the exact blend file I am using you can find on blendswap.com, and if you search up bouncing ball rig, it will be the bouncing ball rig that was made by Piximation. It is free with a account. All right, let's get started. Do we all have Blender open? All right. So if you should be at this screen once you're open, and we'll go over just all the UI you'll need to learn to get around. I'll do the official ones, then the shortcuts first. First things first. Go ahead and navigate with your mouse or with your pad, and you can click on this cube right here. It should be outlined in orange, as you see up there. And then hit X, which is our delete key. And you have enter, or you click on that, and you have deleted the default cube, which is the first step to any Blender project. And then to add any meshes in, you're going to Shift A, and that will give you this thing, and we'll look over what a good amount of these do later. The ones we'll use the most we'll look over. But from here, you can go ahead and go to Mesh and click Cube, and you should have your cube right there. All good?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, and from here on out, we're gonna start over here and just move this way. So up here, this, you can click this. If you click anywhere here, it moves this. This will change where your cube originates. So let's say I have that. You're always gonna wanna go back here just to select stuff. And now I spawn in another default cube. It goes there. This really won't affect your project, but I really like having it in the middle because aesthetics. And this over here, I'll add another cube so we can, look at stuff. This is the move. So really, it'll show you the X, Y, and Z axis. The arrows will lock you to a plane, and the squares will let it free move on 2 planes. And you'll see the planes light up on which it can move, and then of course the circle is just free move. Let's put this back in its place. This is rotation, basically, same thing. This is, X plane, Z and Y, how you rotate it. And this white will rotate it with the camera. So if your camera's facing this way, it'll rotate this way. If your camera's facing this way, it'll rotate this way. If your camera's facing this way, it'll rotate that way. We'll get to camera moves in a second. This one is scale. So again, the exact same thing, but with scale now. Yeah. And then you have one last one, which I think is transform, which is all of them at the same time. And over here we have annotation. You can do stuff like this. This will not show up in your renders, but if you would like to track, it's mostly used for tracking arcs. So let's say you want to animate a bouncing ball. You can do this, animate the ball on that arc as you go, and then you can just go over here, you hold down, left click, and then erase. But that's mostly used for planning arcs and whatever you want to do while you animate. You're going to go to annotate, hold it down, and then annotate eraser. And of course there's polygon, which is just the line tool. And there's line, which is, again, line tool. I doubt you use this that much, but it's there in case you want to. And just for future reference, if you do have a mouse, it is so much easier. And then from here, we're going to do the same controls, but hot pad. So to move around view, you've got zoom, top right. You have move up here. You have camera, which toggles camera view. You can also press number pad 0. And you have grid, which will switch from isometric to blah, blah, blah.
Isometric
Orthographic, or whatever that's called. It switches perspective views. I prefer whatever this one's called over this one. I prefer this one. I just think it looks nicer. But
yeah,
that's really up to you.
this one's
And then for mouse and keyboard controls, for zooming, obviously, you use the mouse scroll wheel. For you, I think it's, yeah. And then for navigating the camera, you can hold down in the mouse scroll wheel. I think, does that work for you?
just moving
There you go. Okay. And then for moving left and right like this, you're going to hold shift and mouse wheel. And then for zooming in, if you don't have a scroller, you can use Control and also scroll. And then you can use Command to do that, but a little bit slower. Then we're going to have, some of these. So for move, you're going to hit G, and that is free move, if you don't want to use the ones up top.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also click any of the X, Y, or Z axis to lock it to it. So if you press Z, it locks to Z, only up and down. X, only X on the red, and Y, only Y. You can hold Shift after you've pressed G. Shift X, that's both red and green, or, X and Y. You do Shift Z. I messed up. Shift Z. Okay. Sorry. If you hit Shift, it'll negate that one direction. So Shift Z makes it be on only X and Y, no Z. Shift X, Y and Z, no X. Shift Y, Z and X, no Y. Very helpful whenever you're modeling in the future, because you can also do this when you extrude or cut from an object, but we'll get there. S is for scaling. Same rules do apply. You can scale on X, Y, or Z, and those weren't in the order I put them in, but. And same for the holding Shift and Z, or Shift and X, and Shift and Y. And scale, transform, that applies to all of them. Now we'll move over here, which is another way you could rotate the camera viewpoint in the top right. It's also how you snap to a completely flat view. So, of course, X, Y, or Z you can snap to. And then up top, we'll get more into this later, you have the different view modes. So you have, what is this called? I think wireframe. This is the wireframe shading. You've got the solid shading, the viewport shading, which is this is called the preview, the material preview. And it makes it look like whatever you're going to render, but a version your computer can handle. Then you have the render viewpoint, which is your real render, which implements lighting. Because right now we only have one light, and if I were to delete this light, it goes away. But on, this one, the light does nothing. So preview is all of your textures, no light. Render is all of your textures plus light. And these are just for overlays, so I like to turn this one off, and then we'll look at my final thing with the rendered view. So that's these up here. And then these are not super important, but we'll touch more on them when we get to the hard surface modeling, which actually might be what I'm doing next. I think it is. But first we'll go over these. So these are different, panels you can go to, tabs. Layout is where you'll do most of your work. Modeling is another really version of layout. Actually, I've never used modeling, so I'm not sure the difference, that's the difference. It gets rid of this, which is the animation key, which we'll look at later. Sculpting is my second most used one, and it's where you go to find all of your sculpting tools, which you'll hit sculpting, and you're going to go up to object mode. Nope. You click on this, go to object mode and sculpt mode, and this is where you'll find all your sculpting tools. You'll get into what all those do when we do sculpting. There's UV editing, which we are not going to touch today because it's UV editing, but basically it's where you unwrap and put on either downloaded or customed or painted textures. We've got texture paint. This is where you can just paint your object. We might go into this when we get into texturing if we have time. There's shading, which is where you can just see your object and your big thing of nodes to change whatever you wish to change about it. We'll get into this when we do shading. There's the animation one, which is the most helpful for, animating. And then the rest, you know what rendering and compositing are. Compositing, I will almost never use this, just because I prefer compositing in, Premiere Pro, After Effects, or DaVinci Resolve, but that is completely up to you. This one, just like DaVinci, is very node-based, so if you like nodes rather than whatever After Effects has going on, you may do that. And there's geometry nodes, and this is a mystery to me, but it's node-based geometry controls. So this is how you make, if you've ever seen someone make something that's like incremental, where you're like, you press a button and it generates 30 random trees. They have built that entire program on geometry nodes. I cannot teach you that, but I can offer you the YouTube video that says what every geometry node does, and it's a few hours long. And you can look through that if you wish to learn geometry nodes. That is completely up to you. But if you're interested in building like huge cityscapes and things, ultimately will take you less time to learn geometry nodes and make there's a word for it, incremental city, where you can just grab one house and pull it up, make it bigger or smaller, and it'll change shape and size and accessories, than to build each of that city just by hand. So if that's what you're interested in, I recommend you look into geometry nodes. Now that we have most of the layout done, there are these, we'll get to that a lot later. We're going to do some hard surface modeling. So go ahead and, go back to layout. Are we all there?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with just learning how to edit. So 2 ways you can do it. Up in the top left, object mode to edit mode. And this will bring you to edit mode where you can move stuff. Same controls as earlier. Or you can hit tab, which will bring you in and out of edit mode real quickly. Once that's done, there are 3 ways you can edit. You can choose, what are these called? Points? Vertexes. Yes, thank you. You can choose vertexes, you can choose lines, or edges, they'll call it edges, or you can choose faces. You'll use every one for a plethora of different things. A good way to switch between these, other than this up here, is 1, 2, and 3. So, very simple. Switch 1, 2, and 3, just the numbers on the top. Yeah. And now we're going to, I guess I'll teach you all of the polyface model thingies. So usually when I start out on, face, just because you usually want to go big to small, then small to big.
Mm-hmm.
And to edit a face, I'll do 1, you can hit G and move it once again any direction. And once again, the shift rules also apply. So if I do this, you'll see it's not going to move on the z-axis, only left and right. But it can't go up, it can only go far away. And then there's also E, which is extrude, which works similar to G on at least a square, but this time it adds new material rather than stretching one. So now when I move this, that doesn't move no matter what I do. Unless I choose one of the lines and move it myself, then there you go. Extrude is how you'll make things like this. Because if I do that and just hit G, it brings this up anyway. So what I just used was called inset. I'm also going to skip over the traditional ways to do it and just go with the shortcuts because you'll use them anyway. So for inset, it's I. And that basically makes you be able to make a square or a circle or whatever object you're doing equidistant from the sides. So if there are 5 sides, it'll be a 5-sided, polygon? Yeah. This is a great way to make skyscrapers. So you can hit I and go in, extrude, I, go in, extrude, and you have a basic skyscraper. Sorry, this is my sister. And I think that's it for the extrusions. Can you? Yeah, you cannot apply these to vertex dimensions because it really doesn't help. But once you do it, you can scale them up and down. So this will scale only the plane you've extruded and not the plane there. So I can still bring this up. And you can see that one's not affected. And it's another way where you can make these. Yes, so I went to the face of the square. I hit I to what did I say? What was it called? Inset, yeah. And then you can hit S to scale. And this will make it so that you can, do the opposite and make a much bigger square than you initially had. And from here, I will show you guys loop cuts, which is very helpful. So Command or Control R, depending on what you're using, and you'll see this little line, but only when you get close to an edge. So if you're here, Command R.
Command
Yes. And you'll see these. Now these, it cuts the object as it looks. So if I were to do this, I would have a line right there in the middle, and now I can choose this face and extrude or inset and make whatever type of thing I want. For this, I'm going to go back to before I made this line. So before you click it and make it orange,
Before I click it.
while it's yellow,
Oh.
you can scroll on your mouse wheel, or if you don't have one, there's some way you can do it. So what happens?
When you right-click, it automatically.
Yeah, you have to click twice. So the first click, look up here real quick. So the first click, we'll put it down there, but now I can move it around as I want. If you do left click here, it'll move it to how you have it. If you do a right click, it'll smack to even. So that's important. Sorry, I'll say this a little louder. When you loop cut, after you're done, it'll show you this little option, which is the arrows, which you can make it left or right, or where you want to go. If you left click, that will lock it in place there. But if you right click, that will make it so it's equidistant from itself. So if I bring it over here and right click, it's still right there.
So now that the little lines are orange,
Yeah.
what does that mean? What does it indicate?
Have you clicked them once or twice?
Once.
Once, that means you can move it around if you
So
see this.
I can still like edit them at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
as
have
long
it?
as you see this gray, not gray, the black two arrows, you can move them around left or
I don't
right.
see any arrows.
Then you have set it in stone. Then you set it in stone.
Oh,
Yeah. Also, orange also means selected.
yeah.
So it's selected, and now let's say you just want to scale this. You can scale these in the lines as you want
Mhm.
and do as you please. But this is more for making things like.
Wait, how did you do that?
So I selected all the lines, which you should have as soon as you do the loop cut, and then you can just scale the lines on whatever axis you want. When I first started using Blender, I used this to make lightsabers because it's really good to have like that lathe effect.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing I should teach you. If you click C, it gives you this little square, a little circle of selection. So you can just select whatever's in that circle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's very helpful.
very helpful.
How do I go back to the regular cursor after I use that circle?
Right click. Also, if that does not work, which sometimes it doesn't, I think it's W. You can click W to go through these, selections.
Okay. Oh, I see.
But if you ever click it and you don't know what you're doing, up here is how you change that back.
Oh,
Good to know.
okay.
I didn't know that. I think we've gone over everything we can in
When
the.
I press W, I can't change the size of the selection circle.
That's not the selection circle. That is a box. So
It's just select circle.
it's a circle. It makes you use a circle to select another box. The circle that you want to use for selection is C,
Okay.
because that brings up the mass selection circle. That's why I'm saying if you click W, you might get stuck there, which I've done a lot of times, and you can either click it again or you can click up there to do the box. And we've gone through all of the things you'll use when you just aren't touching modifiers, except for one. I lied. So if you use 2, so go to the line or the edge, and then you can click on one of the edges. This you will use a lot. If you hit Control B, this does that. Control B when selecting an edge. If you search up Blender shortcuts, these will all be on the main page.
Oh.
And the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. So B is in bevel, thank you. And once again, this will bevel an edge, and you can use your scroll wheel to increase the number of bevels you do, and so on. There's also, I don't do this much, a way to, yeah. So if you do, I think it's Shift Command B, you can bevel the edges and just not the, you see that? Hold Shift, Command, and then B,
Yeah.
and that will do the corners rather than the edge. I did booleans, I did this, also, clicking A will select everything.
Act differently. from
It
here.
does, really?
Like it does the corners instead of the edges.
Yeah, Shift Command B will do the corners and not edges.
Oh wait, then what did you just do?
Command B will just do edges, yeah. And that is, I think, all of the shortcuts you will need to have on your keyboard at least. If you want, you can hold Shift Z and change from wireframe to solid. For future reference, let's say you lose a mesh like that, and you have no idea where your mesh is. No matter what, you can click on your mesh in the top right over here, and just click period, and it'll bring you straight to the mesh.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Additionally, you can also, let's say you have two meshes. You want to focus on one, clicking on one mesh, and then clicking slash will make that the only mesh available on screen. So now as I click slash, even if I zoom out, that thing's not here. Oh, hide. One thing I forgot. Click on your object, hit H, it's hidden. If you want something gone, that hides it usually only from the viewport. So right here you'll see it'll still be here in rendering. If you want to hide it in rendering, click right there. It won't render. Alright, we're going to go over modifiers. For this, I'm going to pull back up the default cube. Alright, we're going to start to do some fun modeling. So go back to object edit mode, and I'll show you guys around the modifiers. And I'll run through these real quick. Object properties, you really won't touch these unless you're getting deep into like physics stuff, and that'll be where YouTube University teaches you everything. Then we have modifiers. This is what we're going to use real soon, so I'll skip it right now. Particle effects. This one is important, but not right now, because it's a lot of things. It's how you add your hair, it's how you add water, it's how you add like sparks for explosions, it's how you add leaves to trees. But this is a whole tutorial all in itself, and this is once again click plus. This will be something you are going to want to learn on your own, or I could do another one of these that goes only over particle effects. So once you really actually mess around with it, you'll realize it's not too scary. But as you see, go out of edit mode and you'll have a bunch of hairs you can mess with.
Oh, that's crazy.
It can emit like little balls. This is how that one guy puts his sprinkles on the donut.
Oh.
And you can change seed, you can change length. This is also how everyone you have ever seen one makes a teddy bear on Blender. You see it, it's done like this. You can change your dynamics with the hair. But once again, this isn't really something we'll go over, but you know it's here. We have physics. I'll show you one real quick. Cloth. And look at it go.
What?
Physics is, again, something we won't go over because it's a lot. Oh my god. So each of these ones can do something force field. It's legit just a force field. Collisions, one object can collide with another. I will show this real quick because it's somewhat important. This is a plane, your second most used object. If I turn on collision, and I go here, and I turn on cloth, this should work. It no longer falls. Bring it back up. Nope. Go to the start, bring it back up. Hit cloth again. It will stop the second it hits this guy. That is a collision. Things collide. You will only use this when you're, not only, but most likely use this when you're doing like water physics or a very popular one, rain. Then we have dynamic paint, which is just painting. Soft body physics, this is ragdoll physics like you see in Gmod or whatever. Fluid, this will turn anything and not anything. But this is how you do water physics. They are very difficult. Rigid body. It makes things rigid, and constraints we will not go over today because constraints are a lot. It's how any animated character can hold something. And it's how you make robot rigs that move compared to the rig. So if I want this arm to move when the shoulder moves, that's a constraint. If I want this arm to move when this arm moves, that's a constraint, or parent. This arm, and so on. So once again, something you go over in YouTube University. Then we have an entire panel just for constraints. These are all different constraints. Again, it'll clamp you to different things, and it'll track. So if I constrain two objects, let's see if I can actually do this right, because I don't do constraints much. If I say locked track, target, bam. Let's see what this does. Nope. Oh, there you go. So it locks onto this target, and now I can do, let's say, a rotation around the, this is where I use this. This chooses whatever, this chooses where everything's located, not located, where everything originates. So if I say 3D cursor, everything rotates around the 3D cursor instead. So now that I've done that constraint, if I move this guy up, he'll turn to face him, no matter what I do, and so on. Once again, won't go over this too much. You will explore that on your own. Delete that. And then we have data properties. Same as these. You really won't touch them much until you get to the point where you need to. And then we have this, which I'll go over later. So let's go to modifiers right now. And we're going to add one of your most used modifiers, which is the mirror modifier. So I'll go ahead and click that. And now everything you do is mirrored. So let's say I want to edit this. It mirrors itself.
How can you edit?
I'm going to go to edit mode, which is tab.
What should the difference be with the mirror modifier and like the little thing on the top right?
Top right, that,
Oh no, the
I know what you're talking about, this up here.
yeah, those.
This is for cursor. So if I turn this off, and I have this, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, it'll still work. But the mirror father modifiers modifies the what just happened. Why are there 4 of them? 1 second. Yeah. So with this on, it'll work. But this mirrors the cursor. The mirror modifier mirrors the object. So this is what you'll use when you're sculpting.
Okay, gotcha.
So you do X, and now you can sculpt on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
And the mirror modifier is what I use when I'm doing hard surface.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
Hmm?
Good to know.
But it doesn't mirror my actions.
That's because you're on the different axis. So click the other axis. That one. Now do it. Yes. And I'll go over that real quick. To change what axes it mirrors, that'll go right here. So if I want to mirror X and Y, I can change this. And now it'll mirror X and Y. So mirrors this and mirrors that. If I do Z, now it'll mirror this. And then you can have it mirror an object, and this is how you add legs to a character. So let's say this is a torso, and I want some legs. I'll bring this over here.
Wait, how did you do that?
Do what? Oh, Shift D to duplicate. Sorry. I keep doing stuff and not explaining how I'm doing it. So let's say I want these legs to, have legs. I won't do that. And I'm going to extrude this and give him like a leg. Oh, I shouldn't extrude it because it's mirrored. Duh. And give him some legs. So he has a leg. Now, let's say I want the leg on the other side, but I don't want to model another leg. I'm going to go to this guy, add the mirror modifier, and mirror him on this object. Now you have 2 legs. Now, as long as you don't apply this modifier, which you do by clicking here and click that, don't do it right now, but that's how you apply a modifier. You can adjust this guy however you want, and the other will respond.
Wait, can you repeat how you made the other two, the other leg?
Yes, so let's go to this cube right here, then click on it, go to modifier, and add your mirror modifier. Once you're here, you can mirror an object, and that object will be the square. And now you have 2 legs. And again, as long as you don't apply it, anything you do will work on that. But then once you do apply it, they become their own separate objects. And now they don't move mirrored to each other. And once you're here, you might want to split them up. There are many ways to do it. I usually click on an object and hit, go to edit mode. I go to vertex, and I'll hit L. L will do only connected objects. So even though these two exist on the same the same object description, using L will choose the ones that only have vertexes connected to each other. Then P, and this is separate, so I separate by selection, and now I have 2 different legs. How are we all feeling? Any questions?
So I've been playing around with like and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm wondering, I'm noticing that there are lines here but not on this side.
It's because it's mirrored.
How do I
Because
select
it's
only,
mirrored?
Mm-hmm.
like, if I press
Oh.
A, it selects every, if I press A, it selects every object.
Yes.
How do I select only one cube? It's like if I, um, if I use a lasso tool, it only selects what it sees.
So go to vertex. Actually, use anything. Click just one thing and hit L. Everything that's connected to will now be highlighted. Oh, never mind. Do vertex. I was wrong. Now click that. Okay, there you go.
All right, and that is the mirror modifier. The more you play around with it, you'll learn when and how you want to use it. Usually, I use it when making anything hard surface that has to be symmetrical, or a very, very basic base match, like the one I had on the poster, if you saw that. Though that one wasn't a mirror modifier because he was posed. But for a lot of that, that is how you'll, make hard surface things. Are we all feeling okay with the mirror modifier? Okay. Now we'll go over some of the other ones you'll use. Array. You won't use this one much, but you can basically make arrays. Look at them go. And then you can do offsets. It's very helpful. I use it to make like brick walls and things. But usually it cannot give you a very exact thing, and that's when you want to do it by hand, which sucks, but oh well. Then we have bevel, which is the one, I just showed you, but this one bevels entire object rather than just one edge. And again, you can choose how much, the segments, the angle, and so forth. So segments are easy to see with, yeah. And then you have edges and vertexes. So vertexes, again, we'll do things like that. So that's corners rather than edges. And, simple shapes like this will take you a long way. You'd be surprised. No, you wouldn't. You guys are all obviously know how shapes work.
I have a question about kind of like polygons or something, where like some of these beveling things seem like they're giving like n-gons for like beyond 4 sides, and like that's like a thing I know like mine would be like terrible and don't do that. Is that like not a problem in Blender? Like does it like re-topologize later or something and fix itself?
Yes. So you can see right now, I've given it 4 sides, and its topology is still a square, so I can fuck with it, and it's gonna not be happy. Once again, you'll fix this just by applying, and then now these are all your things. And topology will get, fucked up the more you have, you subdivide. So the more I go, and now this is my topology, and look, this side is triangles, but this side is squares. You will get fired for this. Don't do that. And that's topology issues you'll figure out how to navigate on your own. When it comes to your own personal projects, this will be fine because it's topology. Unless you want to get hired as like, a modeler for a game or animation studio, you will not have to write topology too much.
Wait, so you don't have to worry about topology, you said?
Depends on if you're going for jobs or not.
Okay.
If you're doing personal projects, don't. If you're going for jobs, do.
As someone who is interested in doing 3D modeling and sculpting, how do I avoid that?
Honestly, usually you have to redo topology by hand. That's where retopology comes from.
Oh, right.
Redoing your topology by hand.
So you can't really do much about it when you're
Yeah. For this, I can try the quad. It makes them all quads, but look at that. It's the computer doing it on itself.
Okay.
Something I could do, cut this out, fill it in on my own, which I have done a lot before. I don't like doing that because it takes a long time. But as you go, the more you make characters, the more you make things, you'll learn on your process of which moves will destroy topology and which one, like you just mentioned that. That's something you've learned from experience.
Yeah.
So you'll know as you build things what moves are going to make what topology which and why you should or shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Including with character sculpting. if you sculpt your face in the wrong direction, you can screw up your topology, which we'll go over a little bit later.
Okay.
Maybe. I have to check the time, make sure I'm not going too far. It's 8. Oh my gosh, I'm racing through this. Are y'all okay? Am I going too fast?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right, and that is the bevel modifier. I'm just going back to the square so I can go over more modifiers. Oh god, I can delete this. Once we have that, we have the Boolean, which is a very, very helpful modifier. Let's say I want something gone. So I'll have this right here.
Wait.
And
go back? How did you do that?
Shift A, I clicked UV sphere. So Shift A, UV sphere. If I want something gone, usually, honestly, I do it with a cylinder because I like making holes in things. So if I want something gone, I will take an object and just put that object where I want the thing gone. You go to the square, do your Boolean, select, and you can either do difference, union, intersect. Intersect will add these two together where they intersect only. Union will make them all one object, and difference will cut it out. Let's look at union real quick. You can do fast or exact. Mess around, see which one works best for the object you're cutting. It will vary. So, make sure you select which object you. I keep saying things without doing it. So hit this little eyedropper tool, and select your circle. Yes. Also get off edit. Yeah, we got the object. So select your circle.
Oh, was the circle supposed to be on a different?
Oh. We'll go over that real quick. Okay. When you add objects in, I'll get right back to this Boolean in 1 second. Make sure that you add in your objects on object mode. If you are on edit mode, if you select this and add on edit mode, it will be part of this object and you will not be able to affect it after you leave edit mode.
Oh, interesting.
So for Booleans, make sure they're two separate objects on object and edit mode. I should have said that. My apologies. But yes, so object mode, back to cylinder or circle or triangle, whatever you want.
So I click the object. So I click the cylinder that I wanted.
If you want to cut something out, click what you want to be cut.
Okay.
And then for the Boolean, the object you choose is whatever gets cut in or intersected. So once again, fast exact, this will usually,
What's the difference?
I don't know. Usually, when I do bigger, more polygons, exact works better.
Okay.
But fast is, I think it might be a topology difference. I can actually check right now.
Wait,
So now that I have,
There's not much that gets changed depending on the mode.
yeah.
It's just
wait, do I?
So once you have their Boolean done, you'll have two objects. You have to delete one, and then you have this one object here, and you'll see when you go into edit mode that they are connected,
oh, okay. So Boolean just connects objects.
or cuts them out, which I'll show you right now.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
That's
I'll take some questions real quick.
Wait, so basically, so this modifier, what it does, so if I have like this sphere in this square, I can like leave that indentation of that. Is that what it's supposed to do?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say you want that.
Yeah.
You'll click your square.
Oh, you click the square.
You click the square because you want the square to be indented. So you click the
So
square.
how can I click the square again?
Click it.
Just click it and
Yeah.
Wait, so the
does that
object-
just move?
sorry.
I don't think
Wait,
I
is
choose.
it not clicking? Oh. Oh God. What? I'm gonna be honest. I've run into this situation like 3 or 4 times. Each time I always forget how it's fixed. But every time I do this tutorial, I have to remember to fix this. There's a button you can click somewhere. Goodness. Why are we doing this? This is a Mac, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the control center? Give me 1 second. Yeah, click the object you want to be affected by the Boolean. And then, real quick, I'm actually going to go over this because this is something everyone will get. So, troubleshoot with Google, of course. What is that called? Origin? Ah, okay. So, let's go to the slide bar, which is N. Or not, where is this? And go to options. Affect only origins? That is not the option I want. Don't think that was it. Ah, there we go. So this is something you run into a lot. Yeah, so whenever you select, you can actually show them what's happening on your computer, real quick. So can you show them what's happening on your computer with the origin?
The tab.
Yeah. Here, let me see. Sometimes whenever you, is it working now? Whenever you click, you can see the origin cursor, little red thing will follow it.
Oh yeah.
This will make it so you can't click anything. I run into this problem a lot whenever I'm doing Blender. I always spend like half an hour trying to fix it. I think I just found the answer. So, if it's done correctly, shift. Let's see. I guess it's really just like a try just exiting, coming back.
Doesn't it have to do with something like set it to origin or world origin or something like that?
You can of course set this to world origin, wrong button, by pressing like what is it? Command Z? Is that Command S? No. It's somewhere
I forgot
here.
what it is.
And we're applying the Boolean to the cube right now. The sphere.
Yeah, hang on, let me find something real quick. Goodness. How did I forget this? It's such an important control. You'll forget controls all the time. It's just Blender, how it works. Did shutting it work?
I just clicked here.
Are you back?
Like this thing.
You wanna
If I
click
want
that?
to select the both thing, it would just be like this.
Okay.
I'm not sure it doesn't work, but
But still, selecting up here just brings you right back?
I think it works.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. See if you can close it and open it up if that'll work. If not, I'm not quite sure how to get through that.
I'm unable to change the size of the sphere.
What mode are you in?
Oh, never mind. I don't know why it didn't work. It started
I love it when that happens. See, I want to figure out this problem real quick.
portrait sculpt, for an example, what's like the best? Does it matter what 3D mesh you start with?
Yes.
Usually people say always start with the square or the cube. Sorry.
For a portrait sculpt of like a bust,
Well, yeah, let's just say like, yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
It depends on what you like. There are two things you could start with. I'll get into that when we do sculpting. That's what I'll show. I mean, this one right here is one I like. It's called the UV. Nope, it's called the UV icosphere. This is how I like to start sculpting.
Why that versus like the regular UV sphere?
I have no direct answer. I just usually responds better to my sculpts.
Okay.
That's about it. So I'll go here. I won't shade smooth, but I'll subdivide it a few times, and then from here I can just work on my sculpting and I'll build my things. But that'll be in our little sculpting segment.
Okay.
But you can also use squares if you want to have a more like a sorrow head vibe before you start, a sorrow head.
So subdividing is just multiplying the amount of vertices?
Yes, a sorrow head.
No. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix this. Yeah.
How did what's the what was that you did a shortcut for subdivision.
Yeah, that'll be in your subdivision, so click it. Crap, I just forgot. Oh. Yeah, okay, so go to tab mode, and then click all of your little thingies. So hit A, and click all your vertexes.
Okay.
Then right click, and that'll be subdivide. Or extrude subdivide, or extrude versus bevel. This we have also a lot of your things I just showed you. So you have bevel and extrude.
I'm sorry.
You've got push and pull.
You go to object. You go to edit mode and then what?
Edit mode. You're gonna tab in, and you're gonna click A,
Okay.
and that selects every vertex you have.
Yeah.
And then right click, and you have this menu.
Oh, sweet.
Something I'll show you right now is merge vertices. So you can merge everything. Let's say at center. Now it's one vertex. This will help with anything you choose. So let's say I have I want this to be the center and not these. So I can be like, oh, I only want one thing. So I merge in that center. And now it's, yeah. Sorry, I'm peeved about this thing. Because every time I teach a tutorial, at least one person has this problem. And I fixed it 3 times in the past. Yeah, try your best. Again, have you restarted it yet? X out of Blender and try and rerun it?
Yeah.
Didn't
and,
work.
I might just reboot.
Okay. If not, we could need to charge it. Here. If that won't reach, you can use this.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna reach from there.
Okay, okay. What is this called?
Oh my god. This
Oh, yeah, you found that. Nice. That's how I make Coruscant type builds.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. It really says that if you just save it and reload it, it should go back to normal. And this is really the only forum I could find on it. User preferences and see what's been set to. Okay, we're gonna continue.
I'm just gonna place the charge my laptop.
Okay, you can plug it in here. We have one charger left.
Oh, I do need to charge my phone as well.
Ah, okay.
Thank
We'll continue. So we'll go back to the booleans. If you guys done that while I was talking? Or-
I was, for some reason, I was having trouble with it.
Okay, we'll go back to it then. So select the object you want to be affected.
Hold on, let me just go back to that.
All right, sounds good.
Playing around.
So in this case, we're selecting the cube.
Yes. So right now we've gone through hard surface and modifiers. Then we do sculpting, animating, lighting, texturing, rendering. We have time for that.
Okay, alright, so I got.
Is it supposed to visually change once I do anything?
Yes, but we'll get to that once you apply it.
Okay, so now.
It should be here.
Hmm?
Alright, I already.
You didn't apply it yet. You press this arrow right here and hit apply. Yeah, so once again, select this, fast or exact, then you'll hit apply. And now, if I move this, it'll be right there.
So sick. Okay,
But first you have to move the circle. It'll stay there because it duplicates it and then cuts it into it.
Oh, I did. Okay, I saw.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and this
so, but I
works
have
with...
to make sure that the object is selected, right?
Yes, so once again, select the object you want to be affected by the Boolean,
Okay. Now I'm gonna
and then
apply-
select the affecting object. And it really works with any shapes you want.
Oh.
Which is, you can also model a shape and put it in there. So if you want like a mold type thing,
Uh-huh.
Doesn't seem to work.
that's what you can do. So click this. With shapes like this, I like to do exact because it's weird. And then apply. Once you've applied, click on this again and delete it, and that will be where your hole is.
So how do you apply it?
This little arrow right, this little arrow right here.
Alright.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm stuck.
How are you stuck?
Just not deleting.
Let me see. Did you do delete that? Hit X real quick. Okay, go back. So you're trying to cut, right?
Yeah.
You have a newer version. I forgot they did that. Boolean. Select. Select. Hit X. Bam. Oh, whoa. I get it. You have already done a union. So because you did a union, it's going to, you know, be a part of that. So it's connected. So what you're going to have to do is go all the way back. And undo this union.
How did I do it?
You probably did it earlier and you didn't realize you did. You do it all the time. And see, now there's no union. So now, I think that now we're going to go back to Boolean. And you can go ahead and try it again from here. Yes. So how are we feeling about Booleans, guys?
It's way simpler. I don't even actually. I have no idea who's in like Maya, and I like learning Maya.
I don't either. I usually only use Maya for animation just because
Yeah.
hard surface is leagues but easier on Blender.
Where
did... Okay.
Also,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
It didn't work? Let me see. That's weird. You might have a different... Oh, I love your computer. You might have a different... Also?
Hmm?
You said like also.
oh, I was just wondering about. So I did the Boolean thing, and I deleted that sphere. But
That is
I'm
very
just wondering
interesting.
on where these two lines came from.
Which two lines?
These guys.
Oh, that's just part of the Boolean. It connects the lines to your edges. If you hit Shift X, maybe? Let me see real quick. Actually, I'll go over that right now. Shane, I have no idea what your thing's doing. I will figure it out. You'll see it's got some weird lines there. I hit X and you can do dissolve edges.
Oh, dissolve.
And those should be gone once you do that. Or it won't be gone and you're left wondering why.
Yeah, I was like trying to figure out how to get rid of
Yeah. You can also just delete all the edges and then go back, select this line,
Right.
select this and fill. And then get rid of this. Fill is Control F. Or maybe it's just F. Fill is just F.
Can you do that one
That was
more
very
time,
fast, my
please?
bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Alt to fill these, and then Shift Alt, which clicks all of the objects. So Alt clicks everything in like a line, and then I'll hit Alt on this again, and I'll fill. Yes. And you're going to have to mess around with this to see how it feels to fill. After this, I'm going to delete the face because I don't want this face there.
Wait, Shift Alt.
Shift Alt. Yeah. What happened? I'll go over this with a sphere, it's a lot easier. Real quickly, let me look at what happened with your thing. And then I think you might hop over to sculpting. So cube, mesh, UV sphere, bring it up, add modifier, generate, boolean, choose. Oh, okay, it's working now.
What happened?
No idea. I deleted them and put them back, and now it's working.
Wait, you deleted all the objects and then just renamed them?
Yep.
Do you know how to make the keyboard work?
No. I've never touched that keyboard.
Yeah, because it says 0% voltage, which I'm confused. Like,
Is it plugged in?
yes. Do you know the password to the laptop? Sorry, the Mac.
Might just be RISD.
Really?
Yeah. That's what they usually are.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, RISD?
Oh, it's usually just RISD. Like
No,
RISD.
no caps.
Caps. Print caps. I mean, it's either RISD with or without caps. Those are usually the passwords.
Okay.
Is this yours?
No.
This one's yours.
Y'all need like better security, not gonna lie.
I mean, like, no random person's gonna come up and be like, I want to use the RISD Mac. Like.
Wait, you
Hey,
said it worked.
some random ones do.
Oh, I didn't do it. You can try it now.
It doesn't.
So, do you have it here? So that's all selected. Hit this. Delete that. Okay. I'll walk you through the less important modifiers, and then we're gonna hop over to sculpting. So, other modifiers we have are remesh, which really won't be used unless you want to remesh something. This is not a way to avoid retopology, but it will
Wait.
add more. Actually, this might be more helpful with a circle. Hang on. So remeshing will just change how it's meshed. Watch the surface of the circle as it basically decimates an object to give it more or less vertices, or faces, as you call it.
What would be the difference between this and like subdivide?
Subdivide adds more, remesh takes away. Or adds. Subdivide's also a lot more mathematical and like, for instance, this, you know, if you apply this, you have it like this, but you cannot subdivide an object and give it this. You will never get this texture from a subdivided object. So it changes the mesh itself. Subdivide just adds more of that same mesh. Subdivide always stays in squares and just cuts the squares into 4.
Oh, I see.
Remesh can change it to any shape it wants.
Oh, so if I wanted like sculpting, which one would be better?
Subdividing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what's the point of remeshing?
I don't really use it, but it's something you can use if you wish to. You can do this, give it like a Minecraft look, which is fun.
Oh, okay.
Wait, how do
Or
you
like
do that?
Lego. I just use blocks in the remesh. This is the only thing I've used it for, is blocks, because it looks cool.
That's cool.
Yep. Then you've got, you won't use any of these. You will not use these. You will not use this. You will not use this. You might use that, actually. Screw. Look at it go. You can screw a thing. So look, now it's like in a screw shape. Really, that's all I can give you. You really won't touch it other than that.
My computer is sharding itself.
Yeah, it happens. Solidify modifier. I love this one. It's one of my favorites.
Solidify modifier.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it.
Look at this plane. You all see how it's 2D?
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. If you're, you can always use number values. So rotate y-axis and then click 90 for 90. That'll always be 90 degrees.
Wait, sorry,
One quick
what?
thing.
What did
If you want to rotate, you can use number values. So 45 degrees, 45,
Oh,
50
okay.
degrees, blah, blah, blah. Just click, type it in. So this is 2D. If I go here, you cannot see it. Gone. Let's say I want it to be not 2D. I go over here, I do solidify, and now it is no longer 2D. Bam.
Oh, cool.
Can you do that by just extruding from the plane?
You can. However, solidify works really well when you have, what is that called? These curves. So let's say you want a curve or like a number or like if you make a thing into, there's this one way people will show you how to make human base meshes, which is by doing like 2D curves or anything and solidifying it. But yeah, you can extrude it. Solidify works better on a whole object. Extruding works better on singular faces.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it might be kind of weird, like this dimensional, you wanted to, like making like a line thing, but not just like making. I know, I get the idea.
Exactly, yeah. And it's also easier than just like clicking 300 different faces to extrude them all. So that's solidify, helpful. Then we have,
So how does solidify look when being used on more complex meshes? Like,
it really just makes everything thicker. So, like this is a cube, I solidify it, more cube. That's about it. So if you use it on like a pair of legs, the legs will just solidify.
okay.
Cool.
Yes. Then there's subdivision surface, the modifier, different than the quick note because you can have just more adjustment levels.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, because
So
I was wondering about that.
yeah, this is what you will use when you do hard surface organics. So let's say you want to do a hard surface character model because a lot of people build them hard surface instead of sculpting.
Wait, what? Like,
Hard.
what do you mean by
A lot of
that?
people build like characters hard surface rather than sculpting. So they don't sculpt and they start like this and
Oh,
they
like that's how they they start off. Like,
no they'll finish the whole thing hard surface. It's insane. I hate it.
How the hell?
Right? But you can go like this.
That doesn't.
Then you can go like, well, I want a face, and you bring the face down here, and then bring it this way, and all of your hard surface will be done through levels of subdivision.
I don't like
This is also how I do it when I'm modeling, also, at least just to start,
I did watch a
because
tutorial,
this is just a
like last year about modeling characters, and that's how they did it.
yeah, it's insane. I hate them.
I rage quit.
Yeah,
that. I mean, I like to start like if you.
a lot of people like start with base meshes that
Yeah,
are like,
right?
but some people would just do the entire thing hard surfaced.
I don't understand.
It's a very common practice, which I don't get.
common practice.
Yeah.
Wait.
But so this is just a better subdivision modifier. If you want something quick, you do the other one. You want something exact, you do this.
Oh,
you should
okay.
use this
So
most of the time.
So you should use the subdivision modifier
Yes.
instead of the quick subdivision.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also skin, which does stuff like this. So that's the skin modifier. It kind of gives you skin.
Okay.
Like, I've never used it, but I think it looks cool. And then the rest of these, this is just the physics tabs. These are just deformations, so you can really explore these on your own. That is navigation and hard surface. We're going to go into sculpting now. So delete this cube. Click. What the hell do I click to get there? I know there's a button. Control Z. Oh, Command Z. Command Z. Command X. Oh, no. Command X. Command W. Control W. Shift W. Shift Z. Shift. I forgot how to do it. I'm going to put the cursor back in the middle. I'm going to summon a icosphere. And then I'm going to go to sculpting up here. now we have an icosphere you can sculpt. Before I sculpt anything, I'm going to want a good amount of subdivisions. So let's go subdivide this guy.
So,
Yeah. Oh,
How does subdivision help sculpting?
you have more to sculpt. Actually,
So it's just giving you more, I guess,
Yeah.
information.
yeah.
so
I'm
you
gonna
don't-
backtrack myself right now.
Yeah, I just want to.
Let's use a UV sphere. I know earlier I said that icospheres, I enjoy them better. Icospheres are triangles, UV spheres are not.
Right.
UV squares are usually liked more.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, you'll get people who, clients who want squares or triangles. It really depends on
Changing
what their
between object
form
and
is.
envelope sometimes just doesn't work. Like I sometimes have to press it multiple times.
That just might be a computer issue. But skill issue.
Skill issue.
L. But if it doesn't work, just go up to the top left. That'll always work. So let's go to the UV sphere because this just might have it's square and square helps. And then go to your subdivision surface. Let's put it on 2. 2 is like my average whenever I go for sculpting. And now I realize the sculpting works. This is where these come in handy. These.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's why I brought it.
Honestly, I've been using a lot of the Huyons around here.
Yeah.
Amazing for sculpting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have a subdivision surface here. You can apply it or you cannot. It really won't change. Will it change actually? I've never tried it. It will change. So apply that subdivision. So pop it in, put it on both levels of viewport and render at 2.
Oh shoot. I don't do that.
Then we'll apply and we can start the sculpting tools. So obviously as you go through this
Wait,
tool.
0 and 2?
What?
Wait, go back. Wait.
So we have our thing. We've gone to sculpt in the top left
Yeah.
or top bar. We've gone to subdivision surface. And then
No.
2 levels of viewpoint and 2 renders. And then we can continue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whenever I sculpt, I enjoy turning on this so I can get equal sculpts. And now that I'm here, I'm going to go to Y. So, nope. I should have gone to X. Oh, I didn't turn it on, my bad. So now I have, equal sculpting. How we all feeling?
Oh, great. I feel great. Yeah.
Doing okay? Sweet. Ah, I feel so bad. She laughed because she couldn't get it. So yeah, you've got your draw, which is just your basic,
I mean, okay. This is a problem that I encountered.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure I talked to you before. But like, as I continue on, like, making my sculpt, whatever, subdividing even more.
form.
It's not that. It's just like my computer starts to shit itself, and it literally.
Legit, just a skill issue.
It's a skill
Your
issue.
computer. Another reason I hate gaming laptops, they cannot take Blender. The reason
Yeah.
I dropped my gaming laptop and built my PC is because it died trying to do anything in Blender.
That's great.
Yeah.
The guy at Best Buy recommended this to me because I told him I wanted to edit videos and like do modeling.
The guy at Blender, he lied to you.
I think he just wanted to get get out of his shift
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
So when that happens, you're gonna have to go lower on subdivision levels
Right.
and have a more a lower poly model. That's really all you can do,
But,
unless you want to buy a new PC.
but isn't there like a way? I remember my friend, someone was telling me. I mean, it's on ZBrush, so maybe it's different. But like, where you like project or something.
Yeah, but you can only project on a finished model. So unless you have a fully polysculpted model, you can't project on it. If you cannot sculpt that model on your computer, you cannot
Okay.
project to the model.
The moment where my computer started to have issues is when I tried to rig it. But you're. I was trying to rig it on that.
Yeah, no,
That's
don't do
probably
that.
why.
That'll kill any computer.
Okay,
Yeah. That's where you get
probably-
into retopology.
Okay, that's probably what happened. Okay. So
Yeah.
maybe my computer isn't as shit. As
No.
I thought. Okay.
Once you should never rig something with this many polygons.
Because I've had
It'll-
like 2 million
Yeah.
basic.
Usually, 200,000 is a lot of polygons.
Yeah. I had mine with, like 2 million.
But yeah, so retopologing, you'll rebuild your model very low poly and you'll project it and it'll look exactly the same
But,
on
like,
much lower polys.
What if I don't want to do all that? and
Then you're gonna have to wait 32 hours per 5 seconds of rendering.
The thing is that like, what if I'm not? What if I just want to pose my character? I'm not interested. I'm not looking.
Pose it in
to
ZBrush.
Posing it in ZBrush.
Pose it in ZBrush, or pose it as you model. So if you're gonna model a character on the pose,
Oh really?
pose it, then model it. Once again, I think I have this little guy. Hang on. This guy here,
Yeah.
you do that. This is a base mesh. So pose it with basic squares and stuff before you model it, and then model
Oh.
it in the position you want to pose.
Really?
Otherwise, rigging something will. How did you rig it? Use an armature rig?
I used Rigify.
That can also be the issue. So real quick, I'm not going to make anything, but let's say I want to move this cylinder. Instead of Rigify, let's add a bone, which will be over here. Armature, single bone. I go over here. Over here, I think. No, it's over here.
So modeling or like the layout tab is mostly for building out the structure of your model and then sculpting is to
Yeah.
refine it.
Yeah. This is a bone.
Yeah.
This is what rigs are made of, right?
Yeah.
You know that if you want to move it like and not have animations like ready or quality moves,
Yeah.
you can put a single bone in each arm,
Okay.
and that bone will only move whatever you've painted over it. And so you can do really simple movements. I still wouldn't recommend for really big polys, but that'll be a little easier than doing Rigify.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
just really simplify it.
yeah, that's if you want to avoid, retopology, which you can only do for so long. I promise.
Okay.
So yeah,
I mean,
And
I feel
then-
like I have to. It's inevitable, I guess.
it is inevitable. You should learn it now.
Even,
I know
so
I tried
even
to.
if I just want to simply pose a more complicated looking character.
Yeah, you either pose it
Really?
before you finish modeling, or you're gonna retopologize. Or you can go on, or you can do like, let's say I have like a dude, right? Like here he is. Look at his face. Ugh, such a flat face. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, this is too much.
What tool is that?
That's the grab tool. I'll show you later. I can go here and do remesh and be like, I want a different remesh size and do this, and now look what I've done.
Wait, what?
That was remesh. So you can
Oh.
remesh them, but that will not keep the quality of the
Oh,
model.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I just remeshed him, and now he has a lot of meshes, but it's all weird and stuff.
Okay.
So that's another way you could avoid it, but it decimates our quality.
Okay.
So retopologizing is the best way to keep quality as well as low polys.
Good to know.
Yes. So sculpt mode, we'll go over these.
Like how I watch all like these like speed paints and stuff of these people doing like these really nice sculpts of like a character.
Yeah.
Like they usually
Thinking like
start
Polygon.
like T-pose.
Yeah.
And they'll like simply just like make the character go like, I don't know, like that or something. Like how many
Well, honestly,
it can't be that hard. Isn't
they
it?
could just be selecting the body parts and moving them, then re-putting them back together.
That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's probably what they're doing.
I know that's what like Polygon does on ZBrush. He'll make like everything in different things, and he won't merge them until he has the perfect pose. So he'll make the arm like this, and he'll be like, actually, let me move this. I'm gonna grab it, rotate it. So that would be like, are you using a thing?
Like sculpting with the tab.
Yeah. So let's say I have like another arm right here, and I want to move this arm, but I don't want to retopologize. I can just move on 3D cursor and then rotate it around the ball.
Oh, that's
Yeah. And something you can do for this, let's say I want to move it around this ball, but this ball isn't on the 3D cursor. How do I do it? Select this ball. Oh, fuck. Hang on. There's a button I can do. What is it? Origin to... set origin.
oh, yeah.
Origin to 3D cursor. Or 3D cursor to origin, which was what I do. How do you do that? Oh, sorry. Right mouse button. There you go. So I can pop this in the center of where this is.
Mm-hmm.
I can do origin to 3D cursor. I can do object to origin. This is the worst time for me to be... Oh, I found it! Yes!
What
Okay.
was that?
Okay. So, watch this. I can have this object control Shift S,
Oh.
and I can do selection to cursor. So that selection is on the 3D cursor. I click this, Shift S, selection to cursor. Move this up, and now that's on the 3D cursor.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
And that's just a whole thing you'll have to get through. But that is the easiest way to move stuff
Okay.
if you don't want to screw up your entire topology thingy.
Okay. Cool.
But that makes sure that you always make every limb
like,
a different object.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that without making it look so? Cause like,
Practice.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean like seamless because
Seamless.
because like if you're for example like doing like a palm and then the 5 fingers
Yeah.
and stuff and each finger is a different mesh. Or each digit even if you're gonna go that crazy. You could see like where the meshes like end and begin.
Once you pose it, because you will pose it before you finish your final sculpt.
Yeah.
Merge it all once you're happy,
Oh, merge
and
it.
then go over every seam you've made.
So like okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
All right, back to sculpt mode. Yeah, honestly, I think you should play around with these and just have some fun right now. Figure out what they all do. F can make this bigger or smaller.
Is there a mask?
Yes, at the very bottom down here. It is right here. Nope, here. Nope, here. No, here. It's that one right there.
Uh-huh.
Mask, now you can paint on the mask. I recommend when you do mask, strength will go all the way up just so it's automatically black when you do it.
Okay, cool.
And now, of course, anything you touch with the sculpting tool will not get masked. So I have the inflate. It does not inflate.
Wait, what? How do I invert the mask?
Control I? I mean, yeah,
Oh,
Command I.
Command I.
So Command invert.
Why is it so blurry?
There's a reason for that. I can
Oh,
probably
is
answer it.
because of this.
Let me see.
Because like when I do it, it's like it's very like.
Yeah. There's a command that can sharpen your mask, but I forgot how.
That's okay. Hold
Is there a
on.
way to round out my polys after I sculpt?
Yes. So what you're gonna want to do?
Yeah,
There are
it's one model.
2 ways you can do it. How do I unmask this? One, let's say you have this really big, like, blob sculpt. And it's super strong and super, ugh. 2 things. One, you can hold shift, which is the smooth button, which will smooth everything you have. The strength on how much it will smooth depends on, your strength. And 2, you can go right back to the modifiers and subdivide again. And now you can continue sculpting.
And then just apply that.
Yep. Another way you can do this is, let's say you don't have the subdivision. If you go up here on sculpt mode, up to the top right, you hit Dynotopo. This will make it so that you can continue to, pull meshes out, and it will continue to get more, vertices. I don't always use it because it eventually just gets a little messed up, but that's something you can do.
How do I delete a mesh?
Delete a mesh?
Yeah.
X.
Okay, it's time for my computer to shit. So
Wait, what?
So yeah, you've got the draw sharp.
Wait, I'm trying to delete the mesh.
These are just your basic drawing things. Delete the mesh.
I'm trying to
Delete which mesh?
do the mesh. Oh, not the mesh. What am I saying? The mask.
Oh, the
Sorry.
mask.
Yeah.
I see you're trying ZBrush rules.
I'm doing ZBrush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot.
that's great. Okay.
I forgot to delete it, but minus will take it off. So minus. And then, yeah.
Okay.
There's probably a shortcut to delete it,
Probably.
but
This is
the
this.
second fastest way.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I like re what's
remesh that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just do remesh.
Remesh, I would recommend you click the dropper, and then click the head. You'll make it the same mesh as your head. And now remesh. Click it and hit remesh.
Okay.
And now shift smooth, or shift and smooth it out.
Oh yeah.
Shift is automatically smooth.
Nice.
There you go.
That looks not like a. It looks like a.
Take some time.
It's
but
like an ET head.
you'll
Oh
get there. My
God.
first head was disgusting.
No, I made better. stuff.
Actually, hold up. Actually, no. I'm teaching a class. I'll show you them for head later. Get out of here. Have you guys messed around with these yet?
Mm.
Okay. Any ones you don't understand you need explained? Any specific thing you want to do?
I just want to learn how to make good.
That'll take
character
time.
sculpts. Yeah, I know. What's
And never, never, never
is this? What?
forget the importance of anatomy.
Obviously.
It'll always fuck up your models. Like, ugh.
I-
The
I'm-
importance of what?
Anatomy. Drawing anatomy versus modeling anatomy is so different because drawing only need to look good at one angle. Anatomy, like in Blender and stuff, you can't break it for you can break it for the camera, unless you want to do a 360 of the head.
Would you recommend whatever this brush is for hair?
Sonic type hair, yeah.
Sonic type hair.
For different hairs, this is called the snake hook. It
Mhm.
just makes snake hooks. This is what using like a beholder or something, or like a solid spike.
Mm.
But for hair,
Yeah.
if you want like blocky Overwatch or like
Sure.
what's it called?
Like more stylized.
Like Spider-Verse, not Spider-Verse, arcane style hair, I do clay strips and build it up from the base of the head like this,
Oh, clay.
and then give him like, well, this is one of his hairs, and then he has this like this. Let's say he has like a thing going through here, and then you just sculpt the hair
So
from
you
here.
don't ever use the hair like modifier? Not modifier, but what was
I know
the
what you
hair
mean.
showed us?
Yeah, it was the hair particles. I have used it. I made this little guy.
Wow, this guy is fucked. Our computer's officially
I made this little guy. And you can see all the fuzzes on him are the hair modifier. But when it comes to an animated character, sculpting hair rather than modifying it is a lot easier to control. Because with the hair modifiers,
Yeah.
one, realistic hair on an animated character looks weird unless you're really good at it.
Yeah.
Like you're like Rapunzel animated level good at it.
Yeah.
Or you have an extremely powerful computer, because animating hair and that many hair follicles takes a lot.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend for your first few times just sticking to this type hair. And so that's, clay strips. Clay also works, but that's how I make hair. You could also get away with just making this one big or doing the layer. Layer could help. Layer might work really well too. But yeah, it's actually a lot similar to how ZBrush does hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got the blob, which is just another version of inflation. You've got the crease, which is the opposite of cut. It makes a crease. Scrape, which kind of scrapes away. Pinch, which is very helpful for defining like jaw lines and your eyelid curves. So what you'd do is you'd have a sharp cut, and let's say you want like, this is your eye, and you have like your eyeball in here, and you have this in here, and now you have that. What I'd do is I'd bring this out,
Okay.
and then you bring this out.
I found eyes to be the hardest thing to sculpt.
They are very annoying,
Yeah, they always look
Yeah.
like they have like bad allergic reaction.
and then you crease that, and that just makes it a lot smaller. So, eyes, I hate eyes.
Is there a way to open up all like the brush menu in like a bigger range, just like the long thin strip?
Like that?
No, more like, or I guess that's helping, but
Like yeah, I did it like
Oh, like this.
How
is
did
that
you do
is there
that?
any like way to like even do like the ZBrush kind of menu all everything,
oh that.
or is that?
Uh, Don't think so.
Oh well.
Yeah. When it comes to sculpting, I really recommend ZBrush. It just has more. It's like Photoshop to Procreate. Blender is good in sculpting. You can make the same thing, in Blender that you can in ZBrush, but ZBrush just has more tools available. So I recommend it for sculpting. That's more me.
How did you extend the menu?
I just grabbed this and pulled it. There's also the cloth modifier, which just makes things look like cloth. It's not like super helpful, but if you don't feel like modeling, like a washcloth or like a paper, you can just give it like a cloth feel. And once again, it's gonna look like kind of weird until you subdivision again, and then you'll have it more smooth like. Yeah, and then there's a few of these. I really haven't used the paint, but I think it just paints on it. And there's the face sets, there's fillers, there's cuts. There should be a cut right here, like the box hide, so you hide what's in there. There's a box cut, so you'll cut what's in there. I'd be careful about that, that'll crash your computer. This is how one of my favorite sculptors makes heads. He'll do it like this. And he'll like duplicate that and bring it under there and like make a whole thing. He's interesting. So you could do something like this and then bring this out here.
Did you cut that whole strip?
Huh?
That whole square, like right angle?
I use this right here. Box trim.
Okay.
And then he'll make like the heads like this, but he'll put the neck in here.
Oh, interesting.
An interesting thing he does. It doesn't really work for me, but that's a way you could do it.
It's totally new. Oh my god.
Mewing.
It's so
Oh my
scary.
god. We should have that as the opener for the deer. The moose.
Yeah.
That's really the ones you'll really work on. Oh, you might like this one. It's called Pose. So you click this,
I've
and you
heard
can
about
help
that.
pose some things. So if you have an arm, you can grab the arm and pose it.
Yeah.
This
but
is best done after you've masked something. So mask something, pose it. The only thing you'll fix is the
mask. You
yeah.
said? Ah,
Only thing I have to fix are like these weird things, which you can just smooth out.
that is very.
So that is another way you could do it.
That's great.
That is how my second favorite YouTube modeler poses his things.
Who?
I-
Do you recommend any people to like on YouTube to watch?
I love this guy. Hang on. Ugh. Ah.
Okay, so what is this?
Uh,
After I get the box,
I think those are normals. I love this guy. He made Marcel.
Oh, I follow this guy. Polygon.
Yeah, I love Polygon. And then there's like a, hang on, a Blender Sculpts guy. Let me see if I can find him.
I follow this guy. What's his name?
This guy is pretty helpful for me. I
yeah,
enjoy
I
him.
started watching that guy, and then he did.
He did the hard surface.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
was like, no. fuck
Yeah,
this.
he's one of the hard
I
surface
watched
guys.
That guy, whoever
I like
that
this
man
one.
is. The one on the first
This one?
guy? No, the first one.
This one.
Dude.
Yeah, this guy's
He's
helpful.
Cool. He makes good shit.
He does. Yeah, and Sculpts. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
this guy
he
too.
makes good
He's
shit.
really fun.
Yeah.
I first saw him in his original Jinx video. No, this is where I found him for this.
I watched the whole speed paint. I was like,
Very
this
helpful.
shit's
He does
awesome.
longer stuff too.
Yeah.
So really cool guy.
Honestly, it's informative to just like watch people do it.
No, really. And then there are these guys. This guy, I really like him. He's really
I watched
cool.
that guy too. He does like
Yeah.
he does funny like live streams and just talks about random shit while he
Yep.
yeah it's really
Then there's
fun.
Grant Abbott, very helpful.
Mm.
Then Danny Mac 3D, I also like him. He doesn't have my favorite characters, but he has a really interesting way of sculpting.
Okay, cool.
Then there's the... Oh, that's cool. Then there are these guys. Hang on. Really enjoy this... Oh, that's Jan Sculpts again. Never mind. Yeah, that was him. Okay, Jan
Do you
Sculpts.
recommend any channels for like kind of like more like mechanical or like architectural things rather than like character things?
That's really hard surfacing, honestly. I don't watch many channels specifically for that because it's a thing a lot of people are really good at. So I'll just look up like, and you'll find thousands of guys who just make stuff like this, and they'll go crazy. Honestly, Max has some really cool stuff. I know I really liked this guy because he helped me make one of my cities. This guy also helped me make a project I was working on. Very helpful. But you'll find a lot more really good city modelers and mechanical modelers than you will find people who are amazing at sculpting, especially stylized. So let's be like a... I don't do mech.
Ooh, yes.
There are people who make tons of these. This guy, pretty cool. Don't think those tutorials. I know they're mostly speeds, but you'll find a lot of people for different mechanical things, because that's really what people go to Blender for, is the modeling and the mechanicals. Yeah, I know there's a guy who made the spider mech. I love this guy's really cool. I learned how to animate from him. He made this thing called a live animation class, which is, he uses this one model and runs you through a bunch of animations. He actually just released a full rigging animation thing, which is insane. I don't know if he does many YouTube things, but he sells really, really informative classes if you're really, really interested into it, which is Blender Animation Course Alive. Very nice. Yeah, there's also people who do like environments. This guy. If you want good mechanicals, Polyfjord. Love Polyfjord. He does such interesting. Yeah.
I saw his stuff too.
He's really good at mechanicals and rigging and stuff. I love that guy. That's what I was looking for. He makes the coolest spider stuff.
What is the command to change the country size?
F. Then there's like environments. Oh, I should have said Blender. I'm dumb. So I know for environments, I love, if I can find him, this guy right here, CG Boost. He's here too. He does some pretty interesting environments. Then there are also stylized environments, and there's one guy who does everything that's just Ghibli. So let's see if I can find him. He'll have like a grass tree and a hill. This one's pretty good. Let's see if I can find it. Crazy Ha. He's not great at releasing consistent tutorials, but sometimes he'll be like, I made this cool thing. Here you go. And then there's this guy, Lighting Boy Studio, who does some really cool stylized stuff. And someone had like, it'll be like a chair on a hill of grass. This person's also really cool. The name is Luz Crew. They do a lot of like 2D, 3D stuff, so 2.5D grease pencil.
The grease pencil, that is something I
Yeah.
heard about.
Grease pencil is amazing. Honestly, it's really easy. Once you know Blender, it's legit just, can you draw? And you're good.
Is it usually for like animation stuff?
You can do animation, you can do illustration, you can do 2D animation, you can do 3D, 2D animation. Grease pencil's really nice.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
This guy, Cody Gindi, he has a single tutorial, which is this, and you will love it.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That one's really cool.
Isn't it used for like tune shading from 3D assets that are animated?
What was that?
Or it's also used for like tune shading?
Yeah, you can do a lot of good like cell shading, tune shading on that. Yeah. There's this guy I really love if you want to learn grease pencil. And he does, it'll be, first of all, you can make animations like this. Very nice. And so this is just Blender's account, but you'll find every animator here, but this is all grease pencil.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. But there's one guy, this one right here, Kevin Drum. And I love what he does with grease pencil. And he does really easy tutorials on how to get into it and learn it.
That's
So he's a good grease pencil guy. Yeah, also this one, Deduzi or whatever. So you'll find anything you want. Blender has such a huge community.
yeah.
You will find anything you need to make just by looking stuff up. All right, so we've gone through sculpting. Are you all satisfied with that? Do you want anything more from it?
I'm actually just curious, and I think it's more like I assume the word I just haven't tried yet, of like kind of, I guess nested like symmetry and kind of I can't remember the thing, but like the matrix or related things of like,
Yeah.
you could do like symmetry to have like a copy of like windows on a building, and then like copy that with like the array thing, and then copy like the building and do like the whole block like that, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's less sculpting and more layout, but let's say I want building window. Get back to your place. Once again, Shift S, you can move the cursor around. That's legit it. And like you want to put the cursor on an object, move this object over here. Click this, Shift S, cursor to active. Nope. Shift S, cursor to active, bam, it's in the middle. Now you can rotate things around the cursor and around the object. But yes. Nope, I cannot read. So you make this and you're like, I want a city. You're gonna loop cut. Bam. You're gonna loop cut. Bam. And now you'll painstakingly go like, oh, well, let me just you'll see where the painstaking comes in. You'll click this. You'll do I to inset and realize that's not working. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click inset and go to, first of all, individual origins, which should inset each thing it doesn't. You're going to go to median points, which we're going to, and we'll see how that works. Why is that happening? I'll choose a smaller area now. You might have to select it all by hand. Hold shift to unselect. Inset median points. Inset active elements. Command inset. Nope. Shift inset. There is a way you can inset each thing on its own face.
I know that from my eye.
Yeah, but basically you'd inset it, you'd extrude it in, and there's a window, and you can array this, and it'll be like this 1,000 times. But again, I wouldn't recommend it because it makes the city begin to look ugly,
Yeah.
just because this is not how a city looks. For cities, I'll really just like, oh, don't do that. I'll go for a plane. Then I'll actually usually subdivide it, but this works too. And I'll choose individual things. So I'll choose like this. Unchoose that because of grid codes. And then let's say I want to extrude these upwards. And then I choose this. This. Let's say I choose this one and this one and this one. And now they're different sizes, and so on. That's a really quick way to make a really easy city. Once again, you want to do something huge and cyberpunky. That's where geometry nodes get in, and you're gonna fuck around with that, and you'll find out. Other questions?
Why does the mesh get fucky sometimes? Like,
Define fucky.
what is going on here?
You're trying to either,
Like that's like I'm trying to like I don't know.
yeah, that's just
Like what's
you're
that?
sketching the vertices. Or it's smoothed out. It should fix. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just like when one vertex gets pulled too far, it freaks out.
Okay, cool.
Something you'll learn to get around.
Yeah.
All right. Any more sculpting questions?
Good.
All right. If you'd like, we can do something just for rate topology later.
Oh.
I know. Andrew, what's up? Just finishing this up. Figure out your audio. Figure out your audio. All right. Okay, so
I
let's.
don't understand faces.
You don't what?
No, faces. Eyes are so fucking hard.
I just hate them.
It's just like I don't know. It's always a hit or miss. Sometimes it turns out okay, but a lot of the time it turns out so like weird.
Something that helps me. There are two things you could do. You could, when it comes to the eye, sculpt the skull first, then go
Yeah,
from there.
I know. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I can do it now, and then I just try and do
Yeah,
it.
or at least do the eye socket first. Also,
True.
there's this thing, Polygon does it, where you cut like a V in the face.
Okay.
You add a circle in the middle and you sculpt the eyelids around that.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a big head.
I don't know what. Okay, I also changed like
Yeah.
that because like because it looks so weird. I
It
feel
does.
like if you're doing this, it makes it look more accurate, right?
The point is that it should look good in both, which is why that's there. Very annoying, I know, but
It looks
yeah.
it looks like the.
But
what are they
yes.
called? These islanders.
faces are difficult. The best way I learned how to improve was do 2-hour sculpts for a face. After 2 hours, delete it, restart, do like twice a day for like a month and 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 12 or
Yeah.
24.
24.
Yeah. Okay, I think we'll move on to animation. So now we can go, pull out the file I gave you earlier. The bouncing ball. Is it this one? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. And we can hop into that blend. Oh, I'm doing stuff. Yeah, let's hop in there. Blender too. Oh my god. There we go. We are now in the bouncing ball. From here, you can just go back to, what the hell did they do to this? That is disgusting. Sorry, they messed with, whoever made this file messed with all of the uppy thingies here. Like tabs. So it's like 3D full view, and it's like, what are you doing? Okay, so from here, are you guys here?
Hold on.
Okay.
This is
So these blue rings in the like guidelines, are those rigs?
Yes. Those are what rigs are. And with humans, it gets infinitely more complicated. When you first grab your hand the human model, that'll happen. If you want a few human models, send me a DM. I'll send you like a whole file of them. I also have Miles Morales. So he's got like, the sweater hood. He's got like a jacket. He's got like some cool shoes and a skateboard. But yeah, so we're all good to go? All right. These are rigs. This right here is what you call a root. Basically, any movement, this moves the entire model. So whenever you want something to move, you have a character walking, you will not animate them walking and move them across the screen. Animate them walking or running or jumping in place, and you'll animate the root instead of the actual model moving forward. For instance, if we want like a bouncing ball, we'll animate it bouncing, but we'll animate if we want it, oh, nice. Whoever made this thing stopped it from moving past the base of the, like past this area, so it can't go down, which is very helpful when you animate like.
Can I have the USB I lost?
Yes. You guys have it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. And so we'll go ahead and animate.
It's
Huh?
going below the floor.
That's a version error then. He probably didn't make this bouncing ball for your version of Blender. And in that case, you'll have to eyeball it. Which honestly isn't too hard. Just, X and see if it goes past Y. But yeah, so we can mess around with this. I will start it. So you're going to click on your object. You're going to... Got it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, so wait.
Good to
I
go?
just opened it. Yeah.
Sweet. I would go onto the animation tab up here.
Okay.
And then move this just to the side because you don't need it for now.
Okay.
And now this is a root. You heard this about roots?
Hmm?
You hear what I said about roots?
Do you mind?
Roots are the main controller for your character. So if you have a
Yeah.
character walking, you animate them walking in place, and you'll move the root to make the character move physically. Just like how, with like cell animation, you paint it from the walking in place and you move the background instead. Just like that.
Okay.
And then these are rotation circles, so you basically, it rotates,
Yeah.
and that's self-explanatory. You probably could also rotate with this, but that rotates on a pivot rather than a full circle. And roots, you could rotate. I don't recommend it.
Mhm.
Simple as that. This is what you're gonna. Can you? Yeah. I don't think you can. Yeah. This is what you'll use for squash and stretch. So, again, you can rotate it, but you're really gonna use it to squash and stretch with scale.
Okay, nice.
And then, honestly, from here, I'm gonna show you guys the keyframe, and then you can make a bouncing ball. So keyframing, you're gonna go down here. We'll start with root for now because it's easy, and you're gonna hit I, and you'll do all channels, which means you've now put one keyframe in all channels, and you'll see it.
Wait. Sorry.
Sorry, I was going a little fast.
You click the little root and you press I.
You click the root, you go down to this panel right here, click in, and you click I makes a keyframe in all channels. And now I can go here, which is frame 160, which I've gone to.
160?
Yep. You can move it over here and click I again.
Where'd you move it to?
I just move this thing.
Like, just to the side?
Yeah, wherever you want. And click I again, and that should give it a I messed up. Alright, 1 second. There we go. If you do not see a little orange dot down here, the keyframe has not recognized itself as a keyframe.
Oh.
So to do that, you can go up here and click I and do location, rotation, and scale.
Go up where?
You can go up to the viewport and click I and do location, rotation, and scale, and that'll put this little orange thing here.
Rotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That orange thing
Oh,
will
gotcha,
show
I
you
see it.
that that is a keyframe.
No, I got
So at this point, it will be right there. Simple as that.
It says no suitable context info for active key.
Have you clicked the root? Make sure you click on the root and then click I. Rotation, rotate. Yeah. And then let's go to like frame 20. It doesn't matter. You can go whatever frame you want, but basically that's what I'll be going. Move it this way. Usually, it might recognize the change in keyframe on its own, but right now it hasn't. So you go again, I, all channels, and now it'll show. So now if I want to go from 1 to 20, bam. And you'll see right now it slows down or speeds up because that's the definition. So what you can do is you can go down here, once again, click A, and then click, I think is it L, is it E? It's not. Control E. Yeah. So then you'll hit Shift E. You can do constant, linear, or cyclic. Cyclic is just a cycle. So
constant.
now you'll realize this cycles the entire animation. Usually I don't do cyclic because I can do it by hand, which would be just taking the end of the animation and putting it where the beginning is. But you can do linear or constant. Linear will make it so it starts. Oh shit. Yeah, linear will make it so it's. Linear. Constant gives the ease in, ease out, small one, but it gives it. And linear does not. It also makes it go forever. So that's something you can do if you want something to continue rising and continue going up and down, so it'll just keep going. Yeah. And then you can do this automatic easing, which again makes it ease automatically. But most of this will be done by you in the thing anyway, so not a super huge issue. You can also do T, which can do constant, linear, and Bezier. Bezier gives it a bit more of its own curve, if that makes sense. I'll actually make this a little longer so you can see the effects of Bezier. So watch, because of Bezier, it starts out slowly, goes a little faster, and slows down on its own. But if I do, once again, I think it was a constant, what did I say, T? Constant, it'll all be at one speed. Nope, it will not. It's gonna clip, like stop motion vibe, so clip. So I'd have to put a keyframe for every single thing. This is a great way to check all of your most important poses.
Interesting.
Linear is where it doesn't change speed. It just keeps going the whole time. I'm just now realizing as I talk that I've never really thought to myself what they do. I'm just gonna figure out that, oh wait, this one does that. I never touch these, but It should do something. Oh, what?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that is cool. Okay, they do things like that. Back.
It's like over here.
You can.
What?
Sorry, this is blowing my mind. It's
Yeah.
like it's elastic. What? Oh my god. I have never touched those for no reason.
What
I
the
don't know what
actual
these do.
fuck? Look. No, this
That's
is fun.
crazy. I didn't know they could do this. Okay, yeah, back to what I was doing. How do I undo that? Okay. Once that's done, you can go in between and animate as you wish, but I'm gonna, right now, start the bounce. So now that I have this, I can choose, what can I choose this? You probably can. So once again, when moving things, really only move the root when you want it to physically move on the like X or Y axis. When going on Z, I'd use this one right here, which brings it up and down.
Wait, why are my keyframes not visible?
It's because you clicked off the root. So click back on it, and this should be
Click
there.
on the root.
For the root keyframes. For anything else, the keyframes for the root won't be visible.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I'll click here, and I'll go to 10, because that's the middle. And this will be it at its highest arc, which could be right here.
Yeah.
Now that that's there, you can insert that keyframe, but you're going to realize that now it's always at 10. It's always that high. That's because before we moved it, we did not set the first keyframe. So go here, first keyframe, move to 10, first keyframe,
Okay, so now
and now,
my ball has like a solidified ground that it doesn't.
oh,
go
good.
past. I don't
And
know
now
why.
at 20, you can put it right back there.
Wait,
And now we play it, bam.
wait, can you? Okay, hold on.
You can ask a question.
I'm gonna try and do whatever you just did.
Okay. How are y'all doing? Okay.
And then it's gonna be like,
You could even just use like for the bouncing thing, just like up and then down, use the bounce like thing and get that like.
Yeah, I
automatically.
didn't even actually. How, is that gonna work now?
If you agree with that curve though.
I actually want to try this because I didn't know that this could do that. I don't know why I never touched it. I just
oh.
did it all by hand. Hang on.
Wait, how did you do the curve? Because mine just goes
What curve?
like I just
Oh, you didn't put a bottom yet.
a what now?
So the top, however high. Oh, why is it that high?
Bro, I don't know.
Oh, go back. So Control Z until it's on the floor again. Right there. Now add a keyframe right here, so it stays on the floor.
Oh, gotcha.
So location, rotation, scale, and then go to 10. At 10, it should be at its highest because it's halfway through.
So like here?
Yeah. And then rotation, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Go like that and do this again?
Uh-huh. And then go to 20. And add it in again. But at
Again.
its lowest.
Oh,
So back at the floor.
so like here?
Yeah, that's what it ought to be.
I don't know.
And then I. And go ahead and play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it jumps.
It jumps.
Yeah.
It doesn't not bouncing, but
If you want to change left and right, go back to your root and reanimate those.
okay.
So how come the root has a looping animation in the end?
You might have just looped it.
This
Why did I do that?
This is a lot. My brain.
It is a lot.
Oh.
Yes. Let me know if you need any help.
No, I'm chill. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Sorry, I noticed when I try to play squash to the ball with one frame and I make it like another keyframe that transfers onto the ball to the entirety of the animation.
Yes, that can happen. I'll show you how to fix that right now. So let's say you want to have a squash, when it lands. Let's, go here and we'll squash it. But for this, you're going to want to only change scale. And once again, it'll be like this. Bam. Yeah. If that doesn't work, go right, probably in the middle where you want your squash not to happen, and make sure you apply a keyframe in a place where you like the shape, and that'll cancel out everything before it. Usually, I also do like to, rotate on a squash, so we can have a. I'll fix this real quick. So when it's in the air, we can take a rotation. I'll rotate on the y-axis. Give it this, and then give this sort of a squash. That's an issue, I just realized. Let's fix this. Give it sort of a squash, and put it right there.
Oh, I did it. Okay.
Let's go. So rotation and scale. And now you see when it jumps, it rotates this way, comes this way, and then it'll squash again down this way,
Okay, cool. Oh, okay.
and we'll
Nice.
rotate it this way.
I remember doing this and like.
And then it'll squash down here,
Nice.
and then bam. That's a huge squash. Scale. How are we feeling? Sweet.
This is the worst thing I've ever created.
That's how it all begins.
Oh shit.
This is great, honestly.
How'd it go? That's a yeah.
Hmm?
It gives like Luffy versus Kaido.
Whoa. That's pretty good.
There are ways here to do like Miles Morales style smear framing.
Is
You
that
can
with the grease
duplicate like,
pencil?
huh?
Is that with the grease pencil?
You could do that. So you could draw smear frames, but you could also duplicate the mesh and physically sculpt it to have like a smear. So if you had like if you're moving an arm like this, you could have the first model have like this, duplicate the mesh, like everything but the hand, and have another hand back here. It's going like this for a smear frame. And it's like the duplicate arm smear frame. So that's something I really enjoy doing. Or you can take it after doing animation, put it onto Photoshop or After Effects, and just draw in every smear frame. Yeah. Or you can just deform the mesh as it moves to shift it. Puss in Boots would make the smear frames happen before the actual animation. So when he'd swing his sword, you'd see the sword swing before his arm comes, and then he'd swing it back, and that gives the effect of smear. Lots of ways to do it. Because it's 3D, it's gonna require a lot of more experimentation than just fucking around. Yeah.
Fun. This is cool.
So how are we feeling about the animation feature? Have we gotten keyframes down?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm inspired now to want to sculpt a character. And
Sweet.
have, like, a
I'm gonna
walking
uninspire
edge.
you real quick.
Uninspired?
Yep.
Oh,
We're
God.
going to go to the graph editor, which is everyone's least favorite thing because it has this,
What is that?
and that's intimidating.
Wait,
this-
how do I get there even?
You're gonna hit this right here, and go from your
Wait,
timeline.
Right where?
Shit.
Oh.
1 second. 3D viewport. Hit this right here.
Squiggly thing.
Yep. And it's gonna go from your what you should be on, which is your dope sheet. There's also your timeline, which will show you a little different thing. Oh no, you're on your timeline. You have a dope sheet. Basically the same thing. You'll learn what the different thing is when you touch it. So go to graph editor here.
Wait, I didn't. Nothing changed. Hold on. Oh, it's because it's here.
Click this right there. The clock.
Oh, the clock.
Yeah, hit graph editor. And so now select something. You honestly, I recommend right now just selecting the root because it's a little easier to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be in timeline. Nope, you'll be in graph editor. I lied. And
How did you get on the bottom? My setup is different.
uh,
Mine is right here. Oh.
you did the bouncy thing, so your graph editor is gonna look like whack. And all those squiggles you see is your ball going like. So I'll show the easy bits right now, which is just the movements. Right now, actually, you can hide everything but the x-axis because that's really all you're moving.
Okay.
And so you see right now that this red is the x, and as you move, it's going to change. Graph editor.
Oh,
However,
so
I
just
move
hide
this.
Everything but the x
Yeah,
axis.
because you really should have only done your x-axis on this. This will change your ease in and ease
I
out.
did my y-axis actually.
Then do everything but your y-axis.
Alright.
Same thing, as long as it moves in a direction.
Yeah.
And so this will change how fast or slow or far or whatever it goes. This is your ease in and ease out. And you can do your curves, which will change something like this. So because the curve goes up, now the
Wait, what? What did you do?
I rotated it. So this is a very smooth, a very nice
Oh.
way of doing it actually. This is a very smooth, very nice, very easy thing you want. Rotating this will change how quickly that occurs. So I can do this. It's really fast. I can do this.
Overshooting the thing even.
Yeah. And that's because it passes down this blue line right here. Hang on. This blue line right here.
Oh,
This, right now, if you wanted to, if you did it right, would be a really great anticipation for a run forward. So if you take it back and I just make it keep going really fast forward, you can see it even squishes as it goes forward. Great anticipation. This is how you'd use a graph editor. So it's just to make very small tweaks to make everything in your performance a lot better. It's going to be very helpful if you animate humans, especially fight scenes. For those very little things, not just fights, interaction scenes, fights, dancing, anything like that. Very helpful. And it gets a lot more, complicated than this because each graph can be used for everything.
That's interesting.
And so, like, if you were to go to this, which has a lot more, you'd see a lot more variations you'd have to change. Like this variation, which is probably the, what? I don't know what this is. Did I change something? Oh, all of this change I made had this little jump. That's it.
Hmm.
So that's the graph editor. And it scares a lot of people away from 3D because it's very but fun fact, you'll also get this in 2D if you use rigged puppets in Adobe Animate or After Effects or Toon Boom. So, yeah. Those also exist there.
Okay.
And that's a graph editor. Very fun. So, thoughts on animation?
Still cool.
Cool.
Good?
Very cool.
All right. Then we are good to go into lighting, which in my opinion is one of the easiest things you can do in here, as long as you understand lights. Oh crap, we have half an hour left. Hope we get through all this, like, not in time, but like with, I don't want to end early, is what I'm saying. Honestly, we can keep this, or we can do a new, let's do a new one. Just so unless you guys want to render this out and have an animation to go home with, it's really up to you. Do you guys want to keep this or go to a new thing so we can do like a whole lighting setup?
I have a big assignment to get done, so I'm gonna head out a little bit early.
Who's that?
A big assignment to get done, so I'm gonna head out a little bit early. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, thank you so much for this.
No problem.
Really
I hope it
cool.
helped. You said you were live streaming. Is this gonna be on YouTube?
It should be, yeah.
Oh,
You're
I
live
think
streaming this?
I'm recording this. So
Oh.
a little audio.
Oh,
Do you know where we could?
Hey,
find it?
Chad. Do you know what?
Chad, is
Do you
this
know where we
real?
could find it?
I will check right now. FAV Fun, or like the FAV thing, should have some type of post about it.
when is it gonna go up?
When's it gonna go up?
Yeah.
Whenever someone puts up, I'm not in charge of that. But I'll tell you when it goes up.
Okay. Yeah, my one of my friends once wanted to be here, but she couldn't. So.
Yeah, you can DM me, and I can send you the link.
Yeah.
Actually, after this, I'll find out where it is, and I'll post a link on my story. So if you follow me,
Yeah.
that'll be there.
Yeah.
And I know you two follow me. Do you guys follow me? Here, let me get your thing so you can find me
Instagram
YouTube.
like that, so
But
you could just text me.
yeah, you could also just DM the FAV Fun people, or if you're on the FAV Discord, there should be a link to the YouTube there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm.
what's your account?
I'm not
Just
in
say
the
Jamie Shaw.
Discord.
So SAGIAN SHAW
SAGIN.
IAN, and then I should just be first. You won't see it. Yeah,
Awesome. All right. Thanks again.
no problem. Okay.
What would the new setup for lighting be then? Like, what would you be doing? So, like, I think it'd be cool to see like the light and like with the shadow of the ball, but doing something
We'll do that.
neat.
So for lighting, I really, oh my god, what did this man do? I'm gonna do something that's just the average layout. Yay, lighting. Let's go into object mode and add a light. Let's see if this guy has cool lights. He doesn't. He sucks. We're going to go into edit.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Wait.
People who are lighting, I'm not mean. He doesn't suck. You're listening. I keep forgetting I'm recording. Let's go into try lighting, which is my favorite. And for anyone who knows film, this is your 3-point lighting system.
Wait, where? What?
So you're going to go to edit
Edit mode.
right here. Edit preferences. This is where you find a lot
Oh,
of
I got
things.
you.
For instance,
Preferences? Oh, the add-on.
ArchiMesh. These are all little meshes I recommend you add on just because they'll help you immensely earlier. ArchiMesh is right here, which gives you things like a room, a door,
Interesting.
window, panel,
What
walls,
does the room look
stairs.
Nice.
So it gives you a bunch of different things. This is what the room looks like.
What?
Right now it seems like, oh, well, that's just a wall, but, you know, you come down here to the left. What the hell? Never mind, it's just a wall. But it's a wall that has a little thing there.
That's rad.
Yeah,
Yes.
so pretty nice, you know, they know what they're doing. And that can go around there. And there's also,
Monkey.
we
That-
love, her name is Suzanne.
That's her name.
Yeah.
I love her.
Everyone loves Suzanne. There's also something that's called, like, I think it's landscapes. Yeah, Ant Landscape. And this is how you make large scale Unreal Engine sized, Unreal Engine like vibes
Oh yeah.
things. So let's go mesh, landscapes. Look at that. Right now it looks small, but you can screw around with this, change the size, change the seed, change the terrain type,
Oh, that's so.
and then size it up, color it. Subdivision surface, you have a high quality landscape.
It's pretty cool.
Very fun. So let's go to lighting. So let's go to the try lighting. 3-point lighting.
Oh wait, I didn't add the thing. There it is.
So for this, it's always going to light a certain subject.
I'm sorry. Did you do? Oh, just Shift A.
Yeah. Shift A will be down here in light,
Hello.
and it'll always light a certain object. It also moves your camera.
For some reason, she's acting a little weird right now. Okay.
Yep. And then of course you're gonna go here and you're gonna mess with your power. So that's gonna be, you're gonna click on your lights, whichever one you want. Let's make this the backlight, duh. So it's gonna be, you're gonna click this, you're gonna go over here on the light bulb,
Yeah.
and then up here into power, which changes, you know, your light.
Yeah.
And let's make this our fill light. So back to power.
Which tab
And
is
then,
that? The bottom.
It's bottom right here on the little light thingy.
Oh goodness.
And we'll make this our key light. I'm just gonna move it because it's not where I want it to be. Right
What's
there.
a good like render engine to be on?
Depends on what you want. Eevee's fast.
Yeah, I-
Cycles is better.
I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna go on Eevee
Yeah.
right now because.
However, Eevee does, in my opinion, reflections and mirrors better than Cycles does. And also glass as a whole. And water.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's also getting a lot more powerful recently, which is nice. And so this is a lighting thing I'd usually go with. I actually might bring this over here to even it out a little bit more. And look at that. That's some lighting. That's your 3-point lighting setup. So that's how you do that. And as you play, it follows it. And you can take a look here. Or you can take a look. Oh, don't, no, please. Okay. And you can see how the lighting looks there. I'll do Eevee just so we can really see it better. So we can scroll through the shots and see how it goes. And there you go.
Very nice.
And now, of course, with the lighting, you have colors, you have everything that you can do. So we come here, let's make it like red. And that'll change how the entire thing looks, make it more powerful, and we have suddenly a really nice red highlight there. And make this blue, we have Christmas lighting.
Christmas light. Wouldn't that be green?
We don't have green yet. Hang on. Bam. Let's make this powerful. And then bam, Christmas lighting.
How do I change the distance of each light from the side?
Grab it and move it. So hit the light, G, move it forward, move it back. And then of course you can change the lights to a spotlight, which I'm gonna make it so it's only one light right now and go over how they work. So spotlight is exactly what you imagined, it's a spotlight. It puts a lot of light onto one certain radius. So this power here, we can change the radius like this. You can change the size of the light, which means what it affects like this. So if I take this and I bring it up, which is, grabbing this and pulling this up. Is that how it works? I did 3-point lighting, so it's actually parented to this thing, so I'm going to pull in a whole new light by myself and do spot. Bring this up, rotate it on the y-axis. Change the size to cover this, and then power it up, and you have your spotlight. So change sizes like that, and so on. You can make it have, a little lighter. You can do a little diffuse, kind of like this. You can feather it. Nope. No, it's somewhere. Here it is. Feather is with blend. So make it a little more natural. You can also show the cone like that if you want certain effects, but that's really up to you. Then we have sun, which is just a sun. And you might think, wow, that's really bright. Yes, it is. It's a sun. So you can turn this down to like 10 and have something kind of, direct sunlight-y. Or you can just move it back a lot. It doesn't really help a lot, but, it's there. So usually I won't put this past even 20 because it gets really bright. I'll usually go like 7 or 8 and have natural sunlight like that. And this way you get like, your average Earth rotation spin vibes. Yeah. And then of course you have point, which is just like a ceiling light. That's kind of what it was made to be. I always use point whenever I do ceiling lights. For I think I pulled it up earlier. Here we go. Nope. For this right here, every light up here is a point light. I shouldn't have made it spin. But I'll do this quick. These are point lights. This is a square light. This is a spotlight, and up here is an area light. And so it all gives different vibes depending on what you want.
Okay.
And
How do you
yeah,
do that turntable effect? I feel like it's really easy to do.
it is. So turntable. What happened to my ball?
Like if I want to like
Am I in the wrong
present
blender?
my work.
Okay. That is very easy to do. So you're gonna go here. You're going to. There are 2 ways to do it. You could rotate your camera, you could rotate your object. I prefer object.
Yeah. I tried doing the tutorial with
Yeah.
the camera, but it was like a little bit.
If you do camera, you'll do circle, take this, parent the camera to the circle, and just rotate it so it's on the equal thing.
Oh.
If you do object, just turn it around at 360 degrees. So, let's go down here. Right now, location, just rotation, And then here, rotate Z, 360, bam. Oh, I didn't add it, never mind. 60, rotate, Z, 360. I'm so dumb. Rotation. And then T, constant. Nope, that's the wrong one. Linear.
Cool.
And so now it
do
moves,
you move
and
it?
all I'm going to do is take the end and put it on probably 59, then go to 0, and you can watch it loop.
Nice.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
And usually, it doesn't jump, but you'll see if it jumps. Looking right now, it does not jump. What helps is taking your eyes away from this and seeing if it actually does jump. Can you see where it
What do you mean by
stands?
jump?
This is jump. Watch the square. You'll see it jump. See it?
It's pretty subtle because I think when you have
Right
it on
there.
60, it sees the like last frame, which is like the full rotation, so it has like a
And it
double
stops,
frame.
yeah.
So
Oh,
when
I see
59,
it. I see
For
it.
instance, a little more. That's a jump.
Okay.
And so 59 will use the stop your jumps right before it ends because it only has the same frame.
Okay.
You will, a lot of times I think it's jumping only because I can see this showing me when it ends. And so I hide this, check it out, and that's how I do it.
And,
and-
you can apply this to
Everything.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And if you want it to spin slower or faster, move this way,
Mm-hmm.
move this way, and then just change the location.
It's cool. Good to know.
Yeah. And before this new version, rotating it 360 degrees didn't work. So you had to do the camera turntable. Because if it rotated, it just wouldn't like recognize it being rotated. But now it does, and I'm so happy because that turntable is annoying as hell.
Yeah. This is really cool.
Yeah, and then we have point. Have gone over all that. Custom distance, shadow. That's all that. Okay, we'll get to texturing now because we have like 20 minutes left. Yeah, lighting and texturing. So let's say I'm gonna make like, give me like a basic object to make. That's square. I don't know.
Rubik's
a
Cube.
chair.
A chair? Okay, I can do that.
Or just a wooden block.
It's gonna be a shitty chair, but I'll make it. And it will not be equidistant.
That was so fast.
I've been doing this for years. Chair. So there's our chair, right? And not a great chair, but it'll do. It's a little fat. It's a little long. That just equals that. What am I talking about? Yeah, I don't like it. I hate this chair.
No, the chair is nice.
Thank you. But yeah, there's your chair. I like that. And let's say you want to make, where the playground, I want a bright chair. And then you're going to look at this and be like, I can't change it. So, yeah, you want this to be a different color than this, or everything to be a different color as you do it. Every side is a different color. Also, don't do this, because when you topologize, you really should have a line right here. So instead of doing that, you would make an inset for each of these squares, extrude it like that, or you would make these squares separately and then do a mirror modifier. This was the fastest way to do it at this second, but for your own sake, when you do it, make sure you do it so you have correct topology right there. So thinking about what you do when you model it as you go. Let's go over here. So hit new, and this will add a texture. So this is where it's a chair. Are you serious? Yeah,
How do I
thank
select
you.
all vertices in an object again?
A. or sorry, L. And then from here, we're gonna go A, and we're going to do assign, and now it's white. And now we can change the color, and it'll change. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at them go. Let's say you want this chair to be green and yellow. So here's like a nice yellow because bright colors look bad in 3D. But we want like this side and this side to be 3. So shift, click will click, you know, all your objects together. And now I want a green. So I add a new object, or a new thing, new. I make it green, and I assign.
Wow.
9 different colors. This is the basics of, you know, texturing, and it all goes up from here. We can also do this. Let's say I hate this, and I want a glowing chair instead. I only think chairs should glow. Give it a new object, principles. So you'll go to a mission, and now you have a glowing chair. So you want it to glow blue.
What would that look like in number?
Rendered.
Here, if it's glowing.
This is how it looked in Eevee. Eevee has better, like,
It just like.
it's legit just like glowing. Like,
Oh, it's just.
you can't see any depth.
Okay, interesting.
If I were to add a new object, however, you would see how it affects the object. Would you? No, you wouldn't. That's bloom, so that'll change bloom. Eevee does great bloom. What does not do great bloom is cycles. God, that's bright. Why is this not reflecting? It's because this thing has no texture. Here, texture. I think that's why. Honestly, I've never hit this problem before. It usually just instantly starts reflecting. But let's give this cube some texture. Let's make it super reflective. And let's move it like up here. Dang, he's not reacting at all to the light. That is crazy. Let's try cycles. Now he is. There we go. So you can see how the light bounces off of this in cycles. And so that'll affect everything you render in this distance.
That's cool. You can even see the reflection.
Yeah. I'll show you one way I did that one really well was here. You look around all the lights. I made this like 2 years ago. And all the lights over here, they're all reflected, like the hotel, the public transport. You can tell that it's all just like the glow effect.
That's cool.
Yes, so that's fun. And what else do we have in, go back to Eevee, in here. Honestly, I don't really touch these. There's like tone shading, so you can choose like different tone colors, but again, when it gets to here, I'd really go to the shader tab, and I'd node my shading to make better tone shading.
What even is what shading?
Tone shading.
What is that?
It's this. Sweet Blender. This is tone shading.
Oh, I see.
Or like,
so it's more
Cartoony.
It's like cell shading.
Yeah. Yeah, so something like that. Yeah. But there are a lot of different things you do for this. For instance, for really tune shading, I'm not going to go over this because this is also a lot, and you'll get there when you get there. But you'll add a mix shader, and then you'll add like color, ramp, and you'll select which colors you want the tune to shade. And you'll go like, oh, I want this color, I want this tune to shade like a blue, and I want this shade to be like a red. So now all your colors only work in blue to red. And you'll go here, and then you'll go here. You'll go here, and you'll go here. And then suddenly it's like a mix between blue and red.
Oh, that's sick.
And so you can change this with a bunch of different things to make it so that only shadows are blue. What?
How did you get to that tab?
I clicked shading up here
Wait, that's really cool.
to make it so that only shadows are blue,
this is-
only lighting is red.
So this thing is called tune shading. Tune shading on Blender?
This is not called tint shading. This
I'm
is
sorry,
called
this is just what is this? What is
node
this?
shading, like,
Node shading.
yeah. Which you'll get into. Shading nodes.
Shading nodes.
Yeah.
So shading nodes, you're able to
Make all
manipulate
types of things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is how you do any like how light affects an object. It's the same guy does the painting thing. And yeah, there are a lot of things I could do over this, but we don't really have time to go over that.
So like you can add like environmental, like environmental. What's the word? Like
Ambiance?
ambiance. Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. You can affect how a rock looks when the light is shown on it, but the light is something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really all I'm gonna get through in shading right now. You can, if you go through a really annoying process in Eevee, which is ambient occlusion, then no, not ambient occlusion. You want to go down to screen space reflections, turn on refraction, and you'll see that changes how the lighting hits it. But then you can go down back to shading, and click this, and go up to roughness, down. Then you can do transmission, on. And then transmission roughness. This will change how it transmits. But we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna run through this really quick. And
Wait, what is it reflecting?
Blender has a natural HDRI, which is like a green forest. So if you don't make one yourself, it'll reflect that. And then you can go here. Let's put a light right here real quick. And this is something I promise you will get into when you do Blender, because eventually you want to make glass.
Mm.
But by going through these steps, you can figure out how to get yourself a mirror. Sometimes it doesn't work because it's dumb. So metallic's down, this is down. Transmission should be up, this should be up. You're gonna go back here. Screen space reflections, refraction, refraction. Oh, yep, I've lost it. I don't know what happened. Oh well. There's some place where you can hit that does like transparency.
Okay. Well, I mean.
But you'll mess with that because it's a really long and dumb process.
Yes.
It actually might be. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So now you can see it going through there.
Okay.
And that's really how you do glass, and you can do depth and stuff, so things are really clear. Once again, I'll see if I can have a video effect. Up here, up here. I didn't do it in this. I did it in the finished one. I don't know if you can see over there. But I really haven't done it anywhere else. Yeah. But yeah, that's how you do glass. Very helpful. So that's lighting and that's shading. The texturing. And then I'll show you how to render, and we can go with basically just in time.
Awesome.
So let's say you want to render this scene because it's a gorgeous scene. Who wouldn't want it? So we're going to go over to our camera. And for me, to move the camera, I like going to N, and then View, and then Camera to View. Which means whatever you move here, moves the camera. So Natural View Navigation, move it over here because this is a good view because I can see both the cube and the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll turn this off so it doesn't move. And then I can move around as I want, but the camera stays there.
How did you get the camera to view?
N, and then View.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I also kind of want like, a backdrop, the floor. So I'll do this to floor, move this back here, rotate down to 90, duplicate it, move it over here, rotate it 90, move it back here. I'll check camera view, a little bigger, or it'd be easier to make this whole big. And now we have a backdrop.
Nice.
To light the backdrop, I'm going to give the backdrop its own light. This is where you'll reach your biggest issues when loading your backdrop. Same issues you'll reach in actual stop motion, which is it's very hard to make a backdrop look realistic. So if you'll see right now, I light this, and it's a little gray cube, but let's say I want like a sky. I can color it. Now it's going to look weird. 'Cause that's really not what a sky looks like. And this is where you get down to more of the texturing thing, deciding how it reacts to what and blah, 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 blah. But we'll have that back, and we'll have this be like, I don't know, a pink or something. I don't know. I'll make it like a green or a yellow. And that'll pop up like that. Since the camera's this low, we'll move it down. Actually, we might not need it because the camera's so low. Yeah, we don't need it. No, we do need it. The camera's too low. Let's change the camera angle. So, camera to view. Bam. And now that we have our scene set up, if you have your scene set up and you like it, what we're going to do is, that's what we like. We're going to go up to this render tab right here. And you render either an Eevee or ambient occlusion and bloom. I like turning on because it helps with the lighting and helps the shadows are cast under an object.
Where's the render tab?
This one right here. And you can do Eevee or you can do Cycles, but Cycles usually doesn't. They changed it. Cycles usually doesn't work with this reflection thing, but now it is, which I am very happy for. And so this will get you just a better render in Cycles, period. Make sure you always have this denoise thing turned on so you get a clean image. But for tonight, because we have like 3 minutes, we'll do Eevee and do fast render. So then once you have all your things here, make sure you mess around with this. You like your bloom, you like your occlusion, you like your screen face. You'll get down to here, which is output properties. And so I like having this. You can go up here and change it to like different things. You want HD for movies, you want like TV or this
Output property?
or that. It's this one right here, the printer.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's going to be whatever you want, mess around with that as much as you want. And your aspect ratios here, resolution, that's all you. And then you're going to go make sure your frame width's 24, frame start, frame end. This is not animation, so we're just going to we're going to ignore this. All of this is good. If you want to do a video, you're going to go to either FFmpeg video or AVI JPEG. FFmpeg gives you one video, AVI JPEG gives you as many pictures as you have frames. If you are doing a short form video, do FFmpeg. If you are doing a long form project, do AVI JPEG. Because if the computer crashes, you will lose FFmpeg, you will keep AVI JPEG. So, yeah. For color,
Doing a turnaround would be.
FFmpeg, yeah. But anything else will be AVI JPEG because you can start off where you left off and you can save yourself hours of blech. And then this can all stay the same because it's fine how it is unless you're really a stickler on all of this, which you might be. In that case, you'll discover it later. Then go here, which you change your output. So click this, click wherever you want it. Desktop, I usually pick desktop. I say, let's call it chair with lighting. Accept. And then that'll be in your desktop, right?
How did you actually like export it?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, so you're just choosing the location?
Yeah, I don't think it actually is on desktop. Here it is. Desktop? Desktop? I don't know how this thing works. Chair with lighting. And then you're going to go up here and hit render. You can either render image, which is F12, or render animation, which is command F12. Right now, we'll do image, and we'll see how that looks. There's our render. And then it'll either be on your desktop. If it's not, go up here, image, save as, and it'll be wherever you save it. And it's 10 o'clock exactly. That is my Blender workshop. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you.
No problem. I hope it helped.
It did really help.